We're gonna do an oil change, a once over on the car, make sure everything's good.
We took this out of that.
So we got TJ's car in for an oil change. It's been sitting in the lift building for probably 6-8 months. He's supposedly coming down to drive sometime soon with Adam. So that's oil change.
Alright, so let me explain to you guys how we got to this point. So if you remember, we took TJ's 350Z into the Drift HQ shop and we gave it a little refurb. I was sick of seeing TJ frustrated with that car, having issues and just not happy with it, and he was getting ready to sell it, and I said, yo, give me a shot just for us to do our little magic touch to the car, make it a better, useful competition car so you can enjoy, and he was blown away, ecstatic with that car once it had some TLC into it. So I wouldn't say similar situation with the Supra, but he tried to do what in my opinion was a very cool iteration of a stock drivetrain car with still a proper cage and everything, and little stock ECU gremlins and other things just kept on beating his ass when he was trying to compete with the car. So I kind of pitched to him like, hey, let's give this thing the full FD car treatment. We can take what you already have, which is a really nice car. It looks good. It's got a really proper cage, and we can just put the competition level drivetrain into it. Literally the next day he booked transport for the car, and here it is now at Drift HQ. So we'll go over kind of some of the main key components that are going to go into this car and why we use them. All right, Chris, what we got going on in here?
So we got the Speedway Motors mock-up block here, which is great because it lets you mount up all of your factory components. And we're figuring out actually that this motor and transmission combination fits in this car pretty much without any modification. So the SFI bell housing in there, as well as the GSR dog box, everything lined up. We didn't have to modify the trans tunnel. We put a rear sump pan on it. So at that point, we're basically at the point where we're just building motor mount brackets.
You might have heard G-Force. It's getting the same GSR 4-speed than I run in my car. TJ's experimented with sequentials, so have I. In competition drifting, especially in the United States, the GSR reigns supreme. They never break. They have killer support. And me personally, like I've run into some weird issues with sequentials. It's harder to get replacement parts, where GSRs, pretty much everybody at the track has them. They're super easy to work on. And in drifting, if you are changing gears any more than 1 or 2 times, your car's probably geared wrong. So there's really no point of a sequential because of the fact that it's usually just boom, boom, and maybe one downshift. So it's kind of tried and true. We want TJ to win. We don't want him to be screwing around or the guinea pig with some new product that ends up biting him in the ass. So he's getting what's tried and true.
Yeah, so we're still kind of tossing around some ideas in terms of intake manifold, exhaust manifold, what turbo setup we're going to be running, just to kind of get an idea of where his power range, power band, and everything like that's going to land.
But the beauty is we've tried so many different combos, especially on all my cars, that we can pretty much tell him exactly what he needs to achieve what his goal is in regards to the power level he wants. And the sick thing is he's getting the same exact engine combo that we run, which is a Brian Crower 3.4 lightweight rotating assembly in the bottom end. So he's getting a stroker, he's getting the fancy CNC ported head with all the BC valves, cams, springs, retainers. So he'll be able to spin this thing high. It'll make a ton of low end grunt. But when it comes to the turbo and manifold accessories, that's really what's going to dictate, you know, if he wants to be making, let's say 700-800 horsepower or like 1200 horsepower.
So now we're just trying to figure out how to reset that pesky service light on this thing.
Hey TJ, we're working on the oil change for your car, and we noticed this was not connected to it. So we had to like do a diagnosis of the car.
Couldn't figure out how to set that damn oil light for reset.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that guy.
She naked.
Oh, man.
Minus all that, because that is a pain in the ass.
What's up, buddy? And we got Joel.
Hi.
Hello.
I was trying to burn the shop down.
So newer cars have a lot of plastic in them, and they have plastic put onto plastic, put onto plastic, put onto metal. So we are cutting out as much of the plastic. It doesn't need to be there as possible. This whole thing is a bumper support, and this actually came all the way down to here. Why? I have no idea. It doesn't need it. We cut it because Donnie is about to chop off the bottom part of the rear end of this car to allow for radiator room. We're gonna put a nice radiator back here to cool this bad boy down. And if you see, there's no room. Like, it's really tiny. So all of this stuff has to come out. The back of the frame rail has to come out. So right now, Donnie's marking everything. And as soon as our boys over at Snap-on come in, what tool are you getting, Donnie?
Crud thug.
A crud thug. I like the sound of that. So supposedly it's able to remove all of the body mend that is surrounding this whole car. It's got a protective shell, like an M&M. And it is all body mend. Donnie will tell you yesterday, they were burning through this crap. It's not fun. So he's gonna get a crud thug, hit all of it off, and then we're gonna be able to remove it nice and clean and make it nice and smooth. Silky smooth, right Donnie? Silky smooth. Silky smooth. Metal there, boys and girls. That is thick.
Cabron, yeah, block.
Uncarbon fiber.
Both of them. One for structure and one for flexi and light.
That's how they do their doors too.
We are shipping all of this back to California because someone bought a shell and then bought all the parts from TJ. So now they're gonna put this back in a Supra and put it all back together. So they got the Lego version of the Supra, and we're gonna ship them it all. So I got a lot of packing to do. Pack it up, pack it up.
Yeah, so whenever we start digging into a car, especially a new chassis that hasn't had a lot of experience in, like, you know, regular rulebook stuff, we always have the option to message our boy Kevin Wells, who is the technical director of Formula Drift. which is great because we want to recess our fuel cell back here. So I sent him a picture with a little bit of a outline of where it is, asked me to cut that out, and he responded with this image saying, you cannot cut any of the red area, but you can cut the green area.
He made it cricket proof.
Yeah.
So I'm not good at reading.
But also that way it saves, you don't have to email him back and forth 7 or 8 times to be able to figure out what the answer is. He just gives you one straight answer for everything. So it saves you a lot of time and him a lot of time. I'm sure he gets these all day long.
So I went to cutting and I cut a whole bunch out. I'm removing these, I don't know if it was a strut tower brace at one point, but we didn't get it with that in there anyways. So we're cutting all that out and we're gonna flat plate it and then do a 90 up to this. That way our fuel cell will fit right here. We're probably gonna remove this bar too, just because it's in the way. And it doesn't really serve any purpose except for being in my way.
Rulebook says we only need C pillar bars that go down to this point, which is built by Cage Kits, so you don't have to question if anything is legal for FD. But that bar is an add-on, as well as they have another X piece and another part you can add to your main hoop. But we don't need all that, so we're gonna remove that, and that'll give us a better angle to be able to fit our radiator because it is very large.
Yeah, weight is a factor.
Yeah. Well, it was over by the plasma table, and then it was on your metal table. I didn't lose the plates. Someone lost the plates.
Well, I didn't touch them.
I made plates. I made a plate here. This is where all of our wiring and stuff is going to pass through for the engine harness side of things. And another plate over there, which will also get a little bead roll. Those are going to be the two made out of aluminum, and they'll be riveted in because they're going to stay pretty permanently. And then the other ones for the random holes on the firewall, like these guys here that we're not going to be using, are just going to get welded shut. That's going to be a Cricut thing. The welding guy.
When we cut out this spot right here for the fuel lines, FD rules allow you to modify the floor of your car to fit fuel lines. Because of how deep this goes back, there's actually no spot for your fuel lines to tuck in on the back side of this car safely. So we cut it out, and when we did that, the seat belt bracket only has like 2 tack welds holding it in. Seat bracket. It's to mount your seat bracket. Seat bracket mount, there we go. Yeah, one of those things. Either way, it's welded in, now we're safe. So now I can cut ahead and attach my floor pan. But I needed to weld this in first because we needed to be able to slide it in there, so we did that. Now we can finish this, and I have these both cut. I just need to bend this piece to match that yaw right there, and then we're gonna put a top cap on it, weld it in, and we'll be able to do our fuel lines and run coolant lines through there as well. Very exciting.
I made a circle.
Hey, look at that, you made a circle. How'd you do it?
I traced a flapper disc with a plasma cutter.
This is the right size.
So we're about to find out. Yep,
Let's see.
It didn't fit through the hole, so
that's what matters.
boom.
Right about there.
So you just find things that are the shape of what you need?
Well, I mean, all of our shapes are round, so this one was a flapper disc. The smaller ones, I'm gonna use a brake cleaner cap, and smaller than that, I don't know, I might use a penny or something. I don't know. Last time I almost burned my finger off. Socket. Yeah, sockets are great because they vary in sizes in 1 millimeter increments.
Yeah.
Almost there.
They're
It's
so
just a hot
close.
dog, it's a glizzy. Put a glizzy in there.
That's a foot long.
Yeah.
So we cleared up a lot of space in the back of the car. It was a full factory-ass car, and we cut a lot of stuff because in the long run of things, he is intending to put LFCs in the back, so we kind of wanted to create an area where you would have a little bit of room for a crumple structure to actually be effective, because there's a whole lot going on between all of the layers and everything back here. And taking a look at Adam's A90, we also figured out how much space we needed to clear up for the winters and everything like that. So we are having the subframe modified currently, and then we can get to mounting our components like the fuel cell and the radiator and everything once everything's kind of lined up.
The quick change is key. I mean, it's pretty much Does anyone not run a quick change in competitive drifting?
Not anymore.
So pretty much you're going to get the strongest rear end. You're also going to get the ability to change ratios, and because everyone again is running that same exact quick change differential, it's really easy to share ratios if you don't have one at the track. But I'm guessing he's probably going to run the WiseFab axles, the same thing that I run on my
WiseFab
Supra.
axles, WiseFab rear grip kit, all of the good stuff back there.
So again, just like, keeping it simple, not reinventing the wheel is what wins competitions, because in the end of the day, there's so many good drivers out there, and TJ is like, he's a killer driver. That dude can wheel. He impresses the fuck out of me every time I see him drive, and it kills me to see him lose due to a mechanical failure. So everything that we're doing to this car is to give TJ the best possible chances to win whatever competition his heart desires and look good at the same time.
All right, guys, so we finally got to the point where we pretty much have everything factory stripped out of the car. Donnie did a great job of getting everything boxed up so it can get shipped to its new home. So now we can actually start the fun part of being able to lay out all of our components, get all of our stuff done, and our chassis fab is almost finished. Cricketed all of the block offs, made a tunnel here for our coolant lines and everything like that. So now we're at the point where we can actually start installing stuff, running hoses and plumbing and stuff while we're waiting for our engine to get built. But thankfully we have our mock-up block right now, so we can kind of start with that and get our front end situated. So like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned. We're gonna have a couple more videos for you guys. That's how you change oil on a B58.